Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank Barbara Hartman, one of my subscribers, for sending this article over. And it's going to really touch on something we already know, but it doesn't hurt to say once again, right? But unfortunately, the video does not play. So I'll leave the link to the article in the description box and perhaps it will play for you. Harvard researcher says Africans are 100% pure human than the rest. That means the rest of the population. A Harvard researcher has declared that Africans are the only race that has 100% human DNA, while the rest have Neanderthal DNA in them. While this seems controversial, another separate study colludes with the Harvard study. Dr. David Emil Reich, a genetic professor at Harvard, and his colleagues analyzed the genetic variants of 846 non-African people, 175 people who lived in Sub-Saharan region of Africa. That's where our people come out of. We come out of Sub-Saharan Africa. And a 50,000-year-old Neanderthal man. They have found out that 9 genetic variants found in humans are associated with specific traits that can be found in Neanderthals. The same genetic variants are the same ones responsible for such diseases, such as type 2 diabetes, Crohn's disease, lupus, optic disc size, and biliary cirrhosis. The Harvard researcher and his team also found that this Neanderthal DNA affects how keratin filaments developed as opposed to humans. Neanderthals have more keratin filaments than humans, making their skin tougher. This allows them to survive a harsh, cold climate. The DNA was beneficial to the human survival in such climates. Well, you know what? That actually makes sense. You know, one thing about our melanin, it stays intact throughout our lives. But white people have a whole different type of melanin. In fact, whenever they would look at their melanin under a microscope, it would crack. When they would look at melanin from Black people, it stayed intact. Our melanin did not crack. All right. A separate study conducted by Dr. Benjamin Vernot and Joshua Aki from the University of Washington yielded the same conclusion after scientists analyzed the genetic makeup of 286 East Asians and 379 Europeans. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We already knew this, but this confirms it. According to the duo, here we go. Neanderthal skin genes are present in Europeans and East Asians. You remember them caves I showed y'all? I did a video showing the caves in China, in the caves in Europe, and all through the Caucasus Mountains that they lived in. Those caves are still around. Okay, on the other hand, the rest of the genes are not compatible with the human genome. And they most probably become extinct. What is happening on the earth between the Asian and the European? They're declining, low birth rate. They're not reproducing anymore. It's probably the hybrid gene, that's probably weakens out over the generations as they keep having more and more generations of children. Because they are technically a hybrid, it just keeps weakening out through the generations, which would make sense. Now it's so weakened, they are not reproducing like they did generations ago. Okay. One area of the human genome where the Neanderthal DNA is absent is that which affects human language and speech. Well, when they were found in those caves, they had no language. What did they say? They screech like donkeys. They had no language. Language and speech didn't come from them. Harvard researcher Dr. Reich said that the goal of the study is to understand how this DNA impact the biological impact of how human and Neanderthal DNA flow. It will also show the scientists that genes have been preserved and which ones have been rejected through the process of natural selection. And you know what? I agree with that. I agree with that. Where the people that are 100% human, our genetics have not weakened through the generations. It hasn't. We live a very unnatural lifestyle now because we were taken out of our element, but our gene pool is still strong. But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. I find this to be really interesting. And it just confirms what we know. We all been know this, Believe me, I was told as a child that we were the only humans on Earth and everybody else around us were hybrids. And you certainly can see this when you see many of these people coming out with tails and coming out during birth with extra arms and legs, like you see a lot in India and Pakistan. Genetically something ain't right. We don't come out like that. We don't come out with no damn tails and all that stuff. That is not what happens to us. In fact, in my lifetime, I have not saw a lot of black Siamese twins. I always see them of other races. I see that a hell of a lot more than you see something like that occurring in black babies. I'm not saying it never happened, but you don't see it as often occurring in black children. But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I will see you on the next video. Peace, family.